to go. Okay, couple things we have for today, and okay, I see that Keone's on. So, and yes, Don, I got your message. Absolutely, we can talk about that. So a couple things I wanted to share with you guys that are pretty cool. Some new documents that will be uploaded, unless maybe they are already. Ray, are they in the intranet yet? Not yet, but they'll be up there in the next day or two. So we've got some new data that you guys can use for your listing presentations, which is pretty cool. And we have one separately for the Big Island. Yay, Big Island. You guys are going to love me. Well, love Ray because he did this for you. So I'm going to share my screen. Let me just make sure I've got the right one up. So I'm going to share the language of real estate report for May that came out first. So you guys can take a look at this because it's pretty cool. And it's not open. It's not downloaded, but you can kind of see it. You should be able to see this. Okay. Yeah. Can you guys see this? Okay. May performance report. Let me know if you cannot. Okay. So it says Keller Williams Realty Maui, and again, I'll show you the Big Island one next, is outperforming the Realtors Association of Maui. So basically, if we look at where we're at May in last year and where we're at May in this year, these are the categories that we are up. And we're not just up, we're ridiculously up compared to, and RAM is up too, right? So if we see, this is what's cool about this report that I love, is that it shows the context compared to, it's not just our own numbers in a vacuum. We take the numbers of the Realtors Association of Maui, the whole group of members of RAM, so what the industry is doing on Maui, and we compare our numbers to that. So for example, listings taken, volume, so how many listings this company has taken versus RAM has taken as a whole group, is a huge gap. So RAM has taken as an organization, meaning all of the brokerages all together, the trend is up for Maui for 65.98%, which is good. That's high. I mean, that's a big jump from last year to this year. Our office alone in listings taken volume is up 226.4%. So we're greatly outpacing the listings taken volume of the industry as a whole on Maui. Just explaining this to you so you understand what it is. And then listings taken in units. So the number of listings we've taken unit count wise as opposed to volume wise. And I don't know if you're getting all these notifications, that might be kind of annoying. Okay, anyway. Then we have, so we're up, RAM is up 25.28%. We're up 58.33%. And then contracts written volume. So that's where we track how many contracts it says list side, but Ray, I'm going to have us double check that because it actually might not be. So let's double check the contracts written volume and see if that is the list side, or it probably, actually it may be, because that's what we track, because we know what listings we're taking. We don't necessarily know the buy side until it closes. So contracts written volume, list side, up 488.64%. I'll verify that with Ray after this just to make sure. And then same with contracts written units, and then closed production. So that's pending escrows, right? So contracts written volume, contracts written units, and then closed production units. So what we've actually closed, how many listings were up. So again, the board is up a ton as well. I mean, the stats are crazy right now. And we also beat them in closed production. So how many closings we had on the list side. So this is, you can use this for the performance report, and Ray is the bottom of this editable for them. We take this out when we post it in this little, so what we do is Keller Williams Realty is simply the best platform for success, because that's telling agents that they want to be with our company, but this gets removed when it goes into the intranet for you guys to access. And then you can also edit the bottom of this so it has your contact information instead of ours. This is just for what we use to show to other agents with other companies, but you can use it for your listing packet, and it's customizable on the bottom that way. And then I'm going to show you the Big Island one as well, because we have one for the Big Island. Let me just get that at the forefront here. I'm going to close that out. Uno momento. Why can't I get back onto screen share? Oh, here we go. Okay. Big Island peeps. Okay, so now we have a separate one per your request. We have a separate one for the Big Island and with HIS. So Keller Williams Realty Maui Big Island Division is outperforming the MLS. So we just say the MLS, and here we show Hawaii information. Oh, service, Ray. So we'll take out the S there. We'll fix that. Hawaii Information Service. And then Keller Williams Big Island Division, BID. You guys are like the notorious BI. Anyway, does anybody get that? Okay. Are we too old or too young for that? Okay, listings taken. What's that?
We see what you did there. We see what you did.
You see what I did there? Thank you. Thank you. My cheerleader, my biggest cheerleader. I love you. Okay. So so the Big Island Division is actually outperforming the MLS there in even more categories than we are on Maui. So again, you have your own stats too. This is pulled from Hawaii Information Service. And we've got Dan, Andy, and Rochelle on there. And the source is Broker Metrics, which is tied to our MLSs. So it pulls data from the MLSs and it has all the brokerage data. Pretty cool, you guys, right? So that's going to be in the intranet. You can use that. We'll make the couple corrections. And any questions about that? Is anybody using this kind of stuff? Because we've had old ones that we've put in there and we update statistics periodically as we pull them. But now we're consistently pulling those. Now that we have the wonderful Ray Davis, we're able to consistently pull those now every month. So those will be updated monthly. So it'll always take the prior month's data, right? So those are for May because we're at the beginning of June and now we have May's data. Any question? Let me look at your chat box. Can you please share this via email? Oh, where in the intranet is it, Baron? So it is, will be. So Ray, when will we have that in the intranet and what folder? Is it under listing presentation? I think it's under listing presentation materials. Is that correct? Oh, he's on the phone. So I believe, Baron, that it will go under listing presentation materials. Maybe Latasha, you know, because you used to upload stuff there. We can share it in the email to Ray. Are we going to send out a separate email or do we want to attach it to the Friday email that goes out? What would be the best way to do that? We just send you guys so many emails.
Yeah, just because I want more people to open the Friday one, I'm going to include it in that one. So look at the week at a glance, and then it should have its own folder in the intranet. It says Laura.
Oh, it has its own folder, Laura Reports,
but
Language of Real Estate or Laura Reports. Okay.
Folder.
Okay, great. Okay, and he says wrapping up customizable templates, then uploading by noon today. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now that we have some more folks on, I mean, there's always people that miss whatever we do first. It's just the way that it is. And they're going to be bummed that they missed that cool stat. So congratulations to you guys because you're doing that. I mean, your work and what you've been doing this year so far is what's outpacing the industry on this island. And, you know, I know you talk to other brokerages and you've got stuff going on and you're like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And everybody's so busy and all the other agents say that too. However, you know, it's pretty cool. Not everybody's outperforming what's going on in the rest of the island. So that's awesome. Congratulations and kudos to you guys, and use that information if you're going up against other people to get listings, because that's what helps them to make that decision, that it makes more sense to go with you. And other brokerages, frankly, don't even share statistics like that. I mean, they don't even track that. So the fact that you do that and track that makes a really big difference, and people notice that and pay attention. Okay. Why don't we have Dawn, you go ahead and talk, Dawn Harris, ladies and gentlemen, who's on our Agent Leadership Council and also in charge with Celeste Molina of the Wealth Building Group, which has been going great. Go ahead and share with us what you guys are up to and doing.
Okay, June 21st at 4 o'clock, we're going to have a Zoom meeting that will cover how to evaluate rental properties. So we'll cover how to do both vacation rental and residential or long-term rentals here. And the purpose is for you to know how to do it for your own properties. Because again, it's a wealth building group, right? We want to help everybody build their own personal wealth here at KWRM. So come to it, attend it, get there early. No one likes
Yeah.
people that straggle in 5 minutes after. So get there early and learn how to evaluate properties. And there was something else I wanted to say, and it's slipping my mind, but it'll be awesome, and you'll be upset if you miss it.
Yes, I am totally going to be there. So are we going to be going over as part of what we're going to be doing at this meeting? I don't know. I didn't ask you this in advance. This was not planned, but are we using the annual property operating data sheet at all?
I don't know
Do you
anything
know?
about those.
The
So if you tell
APOD?
me about
Okay,
them,
I'm going to
we
share it. I'm
can.
going to share it with you.
Okay.
It's what so we can show it to everybody. We'll go through the stuff that we're going to be doing because there's a lot of different methods to evaluate. So I think that's part of what's great about this group is, you know, Don can share what he does in his world and when he invests, and anybody who's been investing can share what they do and best practices with each other. So it's the APOD sheet that they use in commercial, CCIM teaches. So, and I think Gary Keller uses it too, or a version of it, because I think they talked about it when we were at family reunion, but we can go through that sheet too. And thank you for sharing and then I know you have Dave Ramsey's stuff also, because I saw that you shared the budget sheet. So those of you who are part of the Facebook group, our private Facebook group, I asked Don to share in there, which he did, the monthly budget sheet, because I had to miss the last meeting. I was out of town. So you guys, we're so passionate. You know, I know we don't talk a lot about the other groups, which are also doing great things. We actually had a couple of luxury group meetings that we'll start sending out the invitations and putting that on the calendar for everybody to attend. We have the culture committee. There's other committees that you can get involved in. I'm just really excited about the wealth group because personally, you know, a lot of us are on that journey to building our net worth very proactively. So it's very exciting what we're doing in that group. And thank you guys for those of you who've been a part of it. So check the calendar. It'll be on there as well. Thank you, Don, for sharing that. And then next, I'm going to go ahead and let Keone. I know, Keone, you have some stuff set up because originally I was going to be on Quantum Leap and not with you guys today. I know some of our agents are taking Dick Dillingham's Quantum Leap, which I'm sure is going amazing. And I do recommend that you attend that Quantum Leap experience at some point or another when you have a chance, because it really is a great training, and it's not specific to real estate. It's mindset based, it's goal setting, it's like life's purpose stuff. It's really, really cool. So, and Dick Dillingham is probably my favorite, if not one of my top 2 favorite instructors in Keller Williams. Okay, so Keone was prepared to share some cool stuff with you. So go ahead and you're up.
It's actually just, there's an eviction update for.
Okay, that doesn't sound cool, but it sounds like something we need to know.
Yeah, and basically the most of the things are still the same, right? You can't, if the lease ends, then you kick your tenant out, right? There's no notice for leases. If they're on a month to month, the seller has to keep the tenant until closing. Then the buyer gives notice, right? That's not new. That's not changed. That's still the same. So unless they agree, right? Unless the buyer or the tenant agrees to move out, then you're okay. If they say they want to stay, then the seller has to keep them. And then the new owner, the buyer, can then give them the 45-day notice. That's still the same. But if they're let me back up. House Bill 1376, that still needs to be signed by the governor. A new time frame where usually it was a 5-day notice, right, is now going to be a 15-day. So it's 5 business days. It's turning into 15 calendar days. And it can also be extended to 30 days if there's mediation. Let's see, the notice goes away if it's worked out in mediation between the landlord and the tenant. And this will be good for 1 year after the moratorium ends, or December 31st, 2022. And we believe that the governor's, I think he just did it. He did one more extension on these COVID requirements for tenants and landlords. But basically the big change is that 5 days to 15 days and the requirement for mediation. The mediation company, if you will, is set up to do this. They're getting funded by federal dollars. So it's what they're trying to do is prevent the courts from being backlogged. Is the purpose for the mediation, to try and get them to work it out. And so that's basically the update. But if you have any questions, I do have the link to that meeting, and I can post it to somewhere. Maybe I can send it to Ray and he can send it to everybody. And you can watch it. It was like an hour long or something meeting. It's a Zoom meeting. That's it.
So thank you, Keone. So is there anything we need to do differently at this time, or in terms of like contracts, or what you guys are with our brokers or with our brokers on? Is there anything that we need to do differently?
I would say no. You know, the older, newer rules still apply. And this major change is more between the landlord and the tenant. So if you handle rentals, or if you are, you know, helping a seller that's a landlord at this point, then they might want to update themselves on that sort of thing.
Okay, so can you post it in the chat box, or maybe share with us, or we can send it out on Friday, but the best resource, because we want to be the source of the source, right? So what can we share with our clients that says, hey, here's where you find the update, like, you know, give them the website, give them the new information. So if we can share that.
I'll send Ray the video link that came, and that would probably be the best resource, because it's the live Zoom, right? Or it's the recorded Zoom of that meeting, and there was, you know, attorneys and legislators and things like that, right, on it. So that will probably be the best thing for them, and it's easy, right? They just watch it. So
okay, that would be great. Thank you. And then Kaylee, did you have a question? I know you're saying our state is ignoring the federal court decision stating the government can't force the landlords to be creditors. You have that as a question. Did you want to ask or say anything? Okay.
I'm just following up. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious, because I thought the court case said that our governments don't have the legal capacity to make that kind of legislation.
Are you talking about, I think you're talking about the evict in general, the moratorium, and what the CDC did as far as having the moratorium on the evictions. And my understanding is, and you're correct, so they decided that they did not have the authority to do that. However, every state, at this point, can do whatever they want. So there isn't an alignment there. And I don't know, I'm not following it. So I think maybe, you know, Keone or whoever it's good to give us continued updates in terms of what the state is doing. Sounds like there's some changes in the works, but it's still state by state. That's my understanding.
And remember that it's the moratorium on eviction.
But the moratorium is up, right?
It's non-payment, right? If they're wrecking the place or any of that stuff, they can terminate them if they're violating the lease in some way. The only thing they can't kick them out for is non-payment. So
got it.
Okay,
thank you. Joyce, question. So are you asking about a link, or were you talking about the wealth building group, or were you talking about the Laura report?
Sorry about that. That was what Keone was just speaking of, and so he answered that.
Got it. Okay, perfect. Yeah, thank you. Okay, next, I've got a couple more things I want to cover. One is I want to invite Lee. Hey, I'm just looking to see if you're on here, Lee. Is Lee on to talk about the event coming up? I don't see her. Ray, do you know if she's going to talk? If not, I'll just share. I'll share it, and then she can talk about it in the team meeting. So there's a training event coming up that our region is sponsoring, and I'm just going to share this with you. And I know Lee wanted to bring this up, or Liza, who are our social equity ambassadors for our office. So this is Dr. Brandy Baldwin is hosting its Culture and Conversation series, which is a new series that the region is doing. And it's called Finding Common Ground through DEI, which is, it's a really good question. What is DEI an acronym for? Do I not know? Equity, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Oh yes, Lisa, good job. It doesn't say that on here, but I know that's what it stands for because I do pay attention. Okay, so through diversity, equity, and inclusion, I've heard great things about this. I mean, a lot of people, there's a buzz about it. Guidelines for having DEI conversations, cultural competence, allyship, purpose, myths, practical applications in professional settings, Q&A. This is open for everybody. And it says, you know, when talking about cultural competence, that it's a skill for that people do actually learn and develop, and you can get better at it. So that is going to be Thursday, the 17th of June, 9 a.m. Hawaii time. And this link will be included on Friday, in Friday's email, Ray, too, as well. But you can, or Ray, maybe you can copy it and put it in the chat box because this isn't clickable. So that would be great if people want to register for that. And I think it's during, I told Rochelle about it because, and Andy and Antonita, I'd tell you guys, but I think it's during the HELO, weekly HELO team meeting. I think it conflicts with that. So just a heads up there in terms of what you guys want to do, if you want to include this instead, or that's up to you. But it is the 17th. Okay, so I wanted to share that with you. I know Lee wanted to talk about that. And then Latasha, if you want to talk about, I'd love for you to talk about the fun contest you guys are doing. And then I'll end with, I've got some, one thing to share with you that I read that I thought was cool about 5 steps to getting what you want. I want to talk a little bit about listing objections if we have time. If not, we're going to go through that next week. And then I have a fun quote to share with you. So Latasha, why don't you talk a little bit about what you guys are doing and what we can participate in for June.
Awesome. So thank you so much, Lisa, for the opportunity. Good morning, everyone. Hopefully you have a wonderful Wednesday. Wanted to share something with you, and we are excited to do this for the very first time. So as your Market Center Tech trainer, we are going to have a contest with a twist, an island style twist. So for Maui, which includes Big Island, we are going to compete with Oahu. And how are we going to compete? I'm glad you asked that. We are competing with opportunities, meaning for the month of July, July 1st through July 31st. Who is the island that's going to be on top? Who is going to be the island of choice, the preferred island, in terms of, can we beat Oahu in terms of entering and adding opportunities within command? It's just that simple. So we will email you all of the specifics in the next coming weeks. But what we're going to do for now is I have a poll, and Ray, I may need your help on this since you're logged in directly because it's not letting me access. I created a poll within Zoom, and if we could activate that poll, what we're doing in the poll is I have narrowed it down to 5 names in terms of what are we going to call ourselves, Maui and Big Island. So I need you to vote. So no worries, if we can't get the poll activated, I will email it out to everyone. It will be on Facebook, our private Facebook page, and the wonderful Ray will put it also in a week at a glance. So I need you to vote only one time by Friday or Monday, Monday, and we are going to crush Oahu. So more details to come. So don't let me down, because I don't want to like talk big and then you like don't support me.
So this is basically, they're going to be putting in their opportunities. So this is when they have a pending escrow. Is that what we're doing? That we're putting a file
actually,
in there?
no.
Or is this isn't? They
just
so put an opportunity for pipeline. Active buyer selling.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we're just encouraging agents that every person that is in your pipeline, you make sure that you create an opportunity for them. Don't let them sit in your context. Just simply create an opportunity. That is it. It's Plain
Okay.
and simple. Yeah.
That's cool.
Natasha, can you tell us what the 5 options are?
Hold on just a second because I thought I had
Well, and
it,
while
but-
she's doing that, what I want to say, that's also a cool secondary benefit to putting your people you're working with that are in your pipeline in opportunities before they have an escrow, like early, is you can project your income. So it'll tell you based on what you have in your opportunities, what you're projected to make based on your average commission. So it's kind of fun to see that number, because as you put more people in that pipeline, you can affect that number of what you're going to be earning. So yeah, we'll let Latasha, if she's got that. And if you need me to, if you want to come back to that, I don't know if you have it readily available.
Yeah, so the names
Okay.
are, hold on,
Okay.
I'm trying to get it loaded now, but I can tell you the names just so you know. Number 1, not that they're in order, but number 1, Gladiators. Number 2, Avengers. Number 3, Moneymakers. Number 4, Team ABC, always be closing. 5, for deposit only.
That's funny. I kind of like for deposit only, but that's like a weird team name. So these are our team name options. Gladiator of, what was it? Gladiators, what? Event. You might have to put that in the chat box for us.
Yeah, I'll put it in
or
the
do
chat. So
poll.
let me just share.
But
with
that's
you.
Natasha,
fun. Then we can think about
I like your deposit only. Why don't we just call ourselves
I know, that's my-
Cha-ching?
it. Cha-ching.
The depositors.
The depositors, the money makers.
So that's
Okay,
it. Thanks,
I feel like
Lisa.
we're back in bold. This is great. Okay, this will be fun. We'll come up with a name. And it shouldn't be like Crush Oahu or anything. It should be like
No.
just Maui focused. All right. Okay, I wanted to share 5 steps to getting what you want. And I'm going to put this in the chat box too after I'm done sharing this. And this is kind of a fun thing that somebody shared. And this is one of the coaches, the MAPS coaches that I follow on Facebook, Craig Goodliff. And he posts, I love his stuff. I mean, he's very thought-provoking. He asks great questions. He posts really good quotes and different things. So one of the things that he wrote was 5 steps to getting what you want. So this is a good kind of mantra to follow and think about as you are working through your days and your life. So number 1 is know what you want. Okay, so you have to identify what it is that you want to be able to get what you want. Seems easy, although a lot of people don't really take the time to think about it. So know what you want. Number 2 is identify the price and be willing to pay it to get it, right? So this is what I want. I need to identify what is the price that I have to pay to get it, because typically everything that you want is going to come with a price. And then be willing to pay it. Okay. So identify the price and be willing to pay it. So is it, time, money, effort, hard work? Those are usually the things that go into it. Number 3 is look for obstacles to overcome, because are there going to be obstacles on your path to getting what you want? Typically, yes. So we want to look for those obstacles that we're going to need to overcome so that we're prepared for them. And then 4 is get your mindset right about what you want and the getting what you want. So your mindset is critical. It's pretty much everything. And then the last step, number 5, is get into action. So those are 5 steps to getting what you want. I'm going to paste that for you guys. So you've got that. And then before I share the quote with you, I just want to know if there's anything else that we did not cover that anybody would like to talk about or share that I didn't cover or I forgot to, or you told me you wanted to share. Because we're still going to end with tell me something good and some successes. Anything else though somebody wants to share, or they need to, or they still have questions on what we covered? Robert.
One quick little plug for every Friday at 9 to 9:30. We're going over Marty Miller's 66-day challenge. So
okay, so this is the most current one of how people can learn
5.0.
command.
Yep, 5.0. So yeah, last week we did videos 1 and 2, and I showed everybody how to make little icons 360 by 360 or 150 by 150, and how the print version of designs is really kind of a secret weapon. So
great,
creating graphics. So it was really kind of a neat little. we do tidbits. So we watch 1, 2, or 3 videos and then have a light conversation afterwards.
Great. Yeah, I think that's a good thing for people to go through to get better if they want to continue to grow that, and just in general to take
Absolutely.
to learn the command platform at a high level. I want to remind you guys, so the monthly team meetings now, we've combined our central and west side. Big Island still has its separate meetings for Kona and Hilo. However, everybody's invited to the monthly meeting for the whole company, which is now, so for the West Siders, it's the same time, date and time you've always had, which is the second Thursday of the month at 9 a.m. from 9 to 10:30. And then for everyone else that was attending the one that was the last Monday of the month, that is now part of this second Thursday of the month meeting. So it's tomorrow, it's on the calendar, starts at 9 a.m., 9 to 10:30. I'll actually be in the West Side office. So those of you who are over there, I'll get to see you guys tomorrow. I'll actually physically be there doing the meeting from there tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Okay, and then any other trainings, Ray? Yeah, I just want to highlight if there's any, are there any other trainings, Ray, that we want to talk about that are coming up? I think there's next week. There's the all region leadership call. No, when is the regional, Ray? Do you know when the regional meeting is? I want to remind people about that.
I have one, Lisa, not the regional meeting, but I have one.
Oh, okay, I do think the all region meeting is on June 16th. So mark that in your calendar. And I think it's at 10 a.m. our time. Ray, you can correct me, but this is one that has been really great. That includes our entire region. So all your peers, agents, and leaders that are part of Northern California and Hawaii attend that meeting once a month, and they share best practices, and it's been really, really good. Go ahead, Latasha, you had something else?
Yes, so I have been working with Rob and Michelle Del Rosario, and one of my BFFs on the Big Island, shout out to Rochelle Augustine Beck. She's actually going to be my power partner, and we are doing a 30-minute power session, and it's going to be on the 23rd. And it's going to be tips for mastering compliance within command.
Oh,
so we've got 5 tips.
Topic everybody loves.
Yes, we've got 5 tips that are gonna help you from command perspective. So watch out for that information. It's coming, but it's gonna be on the 23rd. It'll be from 11 a.m. to 11:30. And again, just 30 minutes, 5 powerful tips that will help you maximize compliance.
Awesome, Latasha. And that actually reminds me, one thing that I should share with everybody is where we're at with, so as I mentioned in a prior email that I sent to you guys, that we were hiring a transaction assistant for the office, for the company, for all of you to help with doc uploading for your files. So that person has been trained. I'd say the initial round of training is done, and they are technically slotted to start on this 15th of June. So coming up next week. And that it's so you'll be receiving an email either this Friday or on Monday that will share what that person is doing, who they are, how to contact them, and how to basically get your documents uploaded as a bonus for when you have an escrow. So you can, and they can work with your transaction coordinator too. So if you have a transaction coordinator, great. Theoretically, your transaction coordinator should be doing everything that the TA would do, the transaction assistant. However, we can have double the support to make sure, because sometimes transaction coordinators don't get documents in the files. And the other thing is we now have a weekly training, which Ray will make sure is on the calendar for transaction coordinators to take, that is specifically reminding them how to work with the process to assure that their agent that they're doing transaction coordination with gets paid on time and that the file is complete. Now, ultimately, of course, it's still your responsibility and you have to follow the timelines and you're the licensed agent. However, we're doing our best to help make it easier so that your transaction coordinators are prepared, because what we found, and you've probably found this too, is there is no transaction coordinator school. Like, there isn't training. However, in California, there are companies that hire transaction coordinators and have a training program for them. So we are attempting to tap into those training programs and get them for our transaction coordinators so that they have some more formal training. That said, we are also hiring 2 transaction coordinators. Coordinators of Real Estate is hiring one, Core, which is kind of our in-house TC company. And then we're also, Keller Williams is hiring one. So they're still in the process of being trained. It's going to take a little bit longer for that. If you have any recommendations, or literally if you know anyone that has any experience with transaction coordination before, that may be looking for a full-time gig doing TC work, that's good, refer them to us, because we're still looking for talent. Although I feel pretty good about who we're working with now, they just have to be trained basically, but they're on top of it. And I think they're going to be rock stars. They're just not, they haven't done it before. So any questions on that? TAs, TCs, you'll get an email Friday or Monday about that. Michelle and I are meeting to go over it on Thursday. Okay, last thing, I'm going to post this in the chat box too, and then we'll share a couple of wins. Is this was another cool thing that I read, and it said, every day make a tiny agreement with yourself and follow through with it. You'll start to see yourself as a person who honors their word, even when no one's watching. And that's what creates true self-confidence. So it's, you know, sometimes we don't think about doing this with ourselves, or we don't personally make agreements or, you know, set goals for ourselves and what we want to do. We do it externally a lot. So it's really a reminder to make, and a tiny agreement, meaning don't make it something huge, make it something that you can commit to and accomplish that day, something very small. And what that does is it builds up. And I just love that, again, and I'm going to post it in the chat box. And if anybody has an example of something that they do that's a tiny agreement that as a result helps them build confidence, please share. The one example that they wrote an entire book about, the military guy, was Make Your Bed. Has anybody heard of that book? Or that, you know, I think it was a Navy SEAL. And basically that was the whole book was about. It was make your bed first thing. If you make your bed, they have the military, that's the first thing they do every day, because it does that. It creates that tiny agreement and it builds their confidence. And these are people that are going out to battle potentially, or, you know, going to put their lives on the line. So by making the bed and having an accomplishment done first thing in the day actually gives them confidence and makes them feel good and has a psychological effect. So anybody have a tiny agreement that they do with themselves that helps them on a daily basis like that?
I actually bought that book a few years ago when we just, I don't know if it was you or Colette, and I put it in my son's bathroom.
Love it, Joyce. Great. That's a smart bathroom. That bathroom is smarter. Okay. Tell me something good. Let's end with the tell me something good. Who's got
I have a good, I just closed in HANA on a double-sided.
Awesome.
So that was a yay.
Yay, Joyce. Congratulations. One more.
I'm close to closing my first deal here. Just completed termite inspection. It's been on the market since beginning of COVID. So first listing, first closing, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Woo, Tom, that's awesome.
He stuck it out on this one.
And I wrote an offer on another one yesterday for a client.
Yay. Great job. Great job. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for being here today. It's great to see you. Have a good rest of the week, and I'll see you guys soon.
Aloha from the West Side.
Aloha. I'll see the West Side tomorrow.
Sorry, I had an important call come in, so I'll watch some of the recording.
Okay.